All right. Good morning, everyone. We're going to continue with our availabilities this morning with Ryan Reed. And Ryan, it's always nice to come back to California, a place that obviously you're very familiar with. Talk a little bit about what it means to you to be able to race in your home state, but then also if you've had the opportunity to do I think you've had some fun things this week. I've seen you on social media, a couple different places. So just get everyone a kind of a quick recap of what you've been able to do during this NASCAR Goes West swing.
I think the whole NASCAR Goes West swing has been awesome. I think over the last few years you've seen NASCAR really push it out and fans get excited about it. But for me, the West Coast being home for me is really, really cool. I get to see a lot of friends and family, especially when we come here to Fontana. But this week they kept me busy. Tuesday I went and toured the Miller Coors facility in Colorado, and that was unbelievable. They took good care of me. It's the first appearance I've ever got to drink beer at, so that was cool. And it was just a really cool way to spend a travel day on Tuesday heading out here. Wednesday, I actually went to a school in Rancho Cucamonga, and that was really cool. Got to hang out with kids, talk about racing, and I think for me some of the coolest things that I've gotten to do, appearances I've got to do, are hospital visits and schools and hang out with kids and talk about pursuing your dreams and racing, and and for me they were racing. Or I met a kid with type 1 diabetes, and she was really excited, so that was cool. Anytime I get to meet a fellow type 1 diabetic, it's really, really neat and share a lot of experiences, so that was cool. And had a really good weekend. I got to see a lot of family, got to hang out with people that I don't get to see but once or twice a year, so it's been a good week.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions now for Ryan. If you have one, just please raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you, and we'll start up front with Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Wonser from Germany, Ranchport Press Agency. Ryan, a technical question. Before you go to a racetrack, does Rouge Fenway or Ford has a simulator program where you can prepare before you approach with your race car as a racetrack?
Yeah, Ford built a pretty state-of-the-art simulator. I think most manufacturers have them now, but Ford built theirs a couple years ago, and I've been on that quite a bit. It's not a weekly thing. It's not something that every week you have, Wednesday at 11 o'clock where you go prepare. It's not quite like that. But you may go, do 4 or 5 tracks in one day, and you'll be in the simulator for 6 or 7 hours. And then, like I say, do 4 or 5 tracks, go through a bunch of stuff, and then 2 months later you go in and do another 4 or 5 tracks, So, and then sometimes we go in and work on one specific problem or one specific area that you feel like you need to work on. So it just depends. I think for me, when I try and really ask for it is the tracks that I struggle at. So, I feel like I can get a lot better at Bristol and Dover. So those are the tracks that I always push really hard to get on and spend as much time on there as possible. I feel like any laps around those places I can get will help. So it's really cool, and it's great to see Ford make that investment into the sport, and just one more tool to be able to help us.
All right. Additional questions for Ryan? Okay. If we can get a microphone, please.
Hey, Ryan. This is Keith from San Diego Tribune. Nice seeing you again. Hey, tell me about the track here, and what's it going to be like for you out there tomorrow when you're racing? And does it matter where you start to win this thing?
I do think that qualifying matters here. I think because tires are such a not necessarily an issue, because I love that we are able to have such tire wear and stuff like that. But tire management's key around this place. So if you can start up front, manage your day a little better, and really kind of just be able to conserve tires from the word go, it's going to be big. So I think qualifying, we definitely try and put an emphasis on that around this place. But this place is awesome. It's one of my, if not my favorite track, one of my favorite tracks. The style of racing here, where you can run all the way down by the grass or all the way up at the boards, running the wall, is a lot of fun. And it changes throughout a run. So I think that for me, some of my favorite racetracks are where you may start a run, run on the bottom and then move up, or you just got to kind of search for grip all day. I think it makes a racetrack really fun, makes it fun to watch, because throughout a run you'll see a guy, maybe a guy that's dominant early in a run, fades later in the run. So I think that's what creates passing and stuff like that. So this track really promotes that, I feel like, and it's just a great racetrack, and also it's home for me. So I get to have 100 friends and family in the stands that are cheering me on. Makes a little pressure.
All right, we'll go to Chris next. Go ahead.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com. Brian, with the win at Daytona, I was just curious how concentrated is your team on the chase in the Xfinity Series? Have you guys started looking towards, even though it's so far away, have you guys started to get ready for that, or are you guys just focused on going out there and getting more wins and more top 10 finishes?
They're always going for a win. I think we definitely want to rack them up, as many as we can get, but also, too, we know we're in a unique position to be locked into the chase, and if we want to go try some, we're headed Phoenix last weekend. We got to take a lot of notes, and really, I didn't think we were that good, so we got to, learn from that and say, okay, in the chase, we need to be better. But also, too, we're in a great position to where we can go for wins, but if we don't get the win that day, if we struggle, there's still a great amount of confidence with our team. We are locked in. We know that we started the year off really strong, backed up our win with the top 10 at Vegas, and so we're just a lot of confidence right now, having a ton of fun with all the guys, and just enjoying it, because it's tough to get a win in the Xfinity Series, as we all know, with racing against Cup guys on a lot of weeks, and so it's can be few and far between. And when you do get a win and you do get locked in, enjoy it, and hopefully we have more wins to come in the near future. And I would love to get my first win at my home track here at Fontana.
All right. Any final questions for Ryan before we wrap up? Okay, we'll take one final question.
You're talking about tire management and grip and everything. So how key is it to you communicating with the pit box and everything to make sure everything's right when you come in to get change everything on your stops?
Oh, it's huge. I felt like we had a top 10 for sure, but maybe a top 5 day going here last year. Had probably the best race car I've ever had in my career. If there's one race I could redo, it would be that one from a year ago. And we had a pit road penalty and cost us our day, got chopped a lap down and never got to overcome it. So I think we've all seen in this sport in the last few years, pit stops become more and more and more important, and there's no room for error. So, I've got to be on top of my game and hit pit road perfect and execute perfectly, and my guys have to as well. And my crew chief's got to make good calls on top of the box. So if we go in there and have a no mistake day tomorrow, I think we have we'll have a good day. And then if we are really on top of it this weekend, we can contend for a win. So I'm really excited to be here and excited to get back on track here.
All right, Ryan, we thank you for your time this morning. Wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.